Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our commentary of the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the first of the Disney/Walden Media/20th Century Fox trilogy.
Yay!
I have a bit of trivia about this series, but I'll say it after we've started the movie. Basically, This is based off of a book series written by C.S.Lewis.
I read the books and seen the first two films, so...
Okay.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so we are watching the original theatrical version of the film, not the extended cut. So,
What extended cut?
Yeah, there is an extended cut, but watching the original one, so whatever. So just have your copy set to 0 just before the Disney logo shows up.
See, what happened was Dwib said that the extended cut was only available for a limited time, so it probably doesn't exist at the moment.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah, sure. So, if your copies are ready,
Yep.
we shall begin in 3, 2, 1, click.
The Chronicles of Narnia.
Wait, did you get the Lion King by mistake? The logo looks exactly like that one.
There are a lot of films use that font. I think the Tarzan one and the Dinosaur one also use that as well.
Not really the font, the visually. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant. The visionary with the whole sunset orange there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess this film was made for 2 reasons. One, because Disney want to continue the money craze they had over the Pirates of the Caribbean films. And, well, they had some that was kind of like magical, like Harry Potter, so why not use it? I mean, why not? It was 2005, and the craze was at its peak at that point, so why not?
Yeah, I think this film is pretty good for the most part. It's a good adaptation. Okay, by the way, folks, for those who don't know, this is an adaptation actually of, well, how should I say this? Technically the second book.
Yeah, for some reason people almost always think The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is the first book in the series.
I actually thought that.
But it wasn't. What was it,
It
Jova?
wasn't. Mm-hmm.
Let me see, I'm trying to find the perfect thing. Let's see.
So we start off this magical, wondrous Disney film with a German air raid of London.
Yep, that's when this takes place, World War II.
Well, wasn't the
I guess
book
it's-
originally written around that time?
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
But on what you were saying, Jova, though, I guess it's a bit like how there are a few people who actually thought that the series of unfortunate events movie was based on one book when there was actually little pieces of a bunch.
Well, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. There are way more than 3 books in that series, though, too.
13.
Yeah.
Ed.
Yeah, it's stupid. Okay. So while we're looking at them being kind of stupid, here's some more trivia. The script for this was written, I think, maybe along with someone else, by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, who would later go on to write both Captain America films and Pain and Gain.
Mm-hmm.
That Michael Bay film that some say is good, but others say is an absolute piece of horse shit.
I haven't seen that one because, well, Michael Bay.
Alright, so, because of the war, we all know what that means. The kids have to be evacuated to the countryside, because are they really all that much safer?
Well,
I
during the
believe
wars,
that in
the
history, this
attacks,
is what...
the attacks were mostly taken out on major cities, so yes, they probably would have been a lot safer in the countryside.
Well, who's
Yeah,
to say
and
the
wasn't
Germans
this part-
wouldn't have decided in the future, I know, let's bomb the farms and that so that the British people will be severely weakened because they won't get their meat and stuff.
Maybe they moved them out. Well, then again, if history recalls, they moved the children out because, well, you know, apparently the
Protect
German
the
flag was
future,
on London
yes.
because London was the capital city of England, and that was apparently where
It
they
is
hit
the capital
home
city of
most.
England.
Yeah, I know. It was and still is. Basically, that was where they struck the most because that was you guys' stronghold.
Yeah. It's just they were repelled because they never won the Battle of the Air, so they couldn't invade us on land, so... Yeah.
Yep, they tried going by air.
Surprisingly, my city was a major attack point as well. And looking at it now, I wouldn't think so because it's quite small. So it's a wonder what it was like back then.
Reminds me of, yeah, I mean, heck, even my city of Rochester, well, in America, was actually a big thing for film and apparently gangster stuff, as well as a lot of machinery and whatnot. Huh,
Right.
how about that? Forget what Portugal was doing during the war.
Was wondering if it could have been anything to do with coal or something, mining.
Portugal was involved mostly because we were part of the Allies together with the United States, but aside from that, we didn't really have any relevant role.
Okay.
Okay, so...
We were just there to support the USA.
Right, so off the kids go on board the Hogwarts Express. The train to the countryside.
We'll get to Chamber of Secrets soon.
Yeah. So the style of them is it does kind of look like the King's Cross in Harry Potter.
Is this kind of like how 50 Shades of Grey is Twilight fanfiction and this is Harry Potter fanfiction?
Yeah.
Except this is the...
It's actually based on a real book.
Except this is actually it done well. In
50
fact,
Shades of Grey is also based on a book.
The funny thing is that Chronicles of Narnia, I believe, came before Harry Potter.
Long before. So, yeah, it's a bizarre... This is a pretty bizarre series of films in which Disney only did two of them.
C.S.Lewis. Huh.
Yeah.
Actually, they did 3.
No. Disney only did the first 2. Fox did the third one.
Oh, Fox did the third one?
Yeah, Disney got fed up because I don't think the box office was very good for the second one, so they just gave it up and Fox got it. So the Hogwarts Express. God damn it! Oh hi, Professor X. And hi, that guy from Harry Potter 6. Yes, James McAvoy is in this film. And no, we're probably not going to make any Narnia jokes when we get to X-Men First Class. Harry Gregson Williams did the music for this film. Is this... Alright.
The music's pretty good.
Well, yeah, Harry Gregson Williams is a pretty good composer. I mean, hell, I think his music was one of the better... was probably like one of the 3 not shit things about X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
Coombe Holt. And there you are, Andrew Adamson. He directed the first 2 films. The third was Michael Apted, in case you were wondering. Yeah, you're actually supposed to go to Australia, but we put you on a train by mistake. So, sorry. Hi, Professor McGonagall. No, sorry.
Maggie Smith? I mean, no. Oh, yeah, that's Maggie Smith.
No, it isn't. Kind of looks like her, though. Yeah, this film does kind of feel like Harry Potter, to be honest.
Really?
Well, I said feels like. I mean, I know the original book was made long before the Harry Potter.
Oh, I get that. I'm just saying, I get that. I mean, I don't really see how this feels that much like Harry Potter, aside from, maybe it taking place in London and the train. Otherwise, I get more of a Lord of the Rings vibe.
Well, fortunately, fortunately for Pedro, the film doesn't go on for 4 hours. Oh yeah, this is Okay, this isn't okay. For another trivia fact: this isn't the first time they tried to adapt one of C.S. Lewis's books into live action.
Yep, I've heard of some old movies, but I've never seen them.
Well, there was a BBC version.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I've heard about that. Unless there's another live action one which I have not heard about.
Right. Well, it's a bit odd. Yeah, I mean, you'd think with them living in the countryside, the sheep's fur would make for some nice, make for some nice covers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be great. You'll get to go for a magical wardrobe and meet a lion. That sounds like Qui-Gon Jinn.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you're not talking about Sonic Jet? Oh no, wait. Sorry, 40s.
Okay.
Poppy jazz music.
For some reason.
1940s.
Oh, Johnny boy. What if there's some Call Me Johnny's theme song in the future?
Okay.
What?
This song.
I finally found what I was looking for. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Believe it or not, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is technically the first book. Okay.
How so?
Okay. I'll start off by linking you guys to this cute little page with a picture.
Okay.
Look to the. So you'll see the picture. Basically, this is ordered by date published and numbered by chronological order.
So let me get this straight.
Okay.
They only
Okay.
So chronologically, it is the first book, but in terms of release, it's not.
It's the
Well, no.
sixth one.
Other way, no. Other way around, Troy. Actually, that was the first book made. Okay, kids, gather round. Here's a bit of history. See, way back in around the 1940s, C.S. Lewis wrote The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the first ever book of the Chronicles of Narnia. And then he made a sequel, which was the fourth book, Prince Caspian. And then he made a sequel to that, The Voyage of the...
Dawn Treader.
Yeah, the Dawn Treader. Basically, the first three books were, following the adventures of these four kids. And then the Prince Caspian cut down. And then the next two of them. So, after that came the sixth book, The Silver Chair, which focused on another character introduced in the previous book. Okay, and then that was supposed to be the end of the series. However, the series was so popular and there was so much demand that he made an interquel. Enter the third book, The Horse and His Boy, which technically takes place before the end of the second book, since, the kids are adults and they're the rulers there, but still before Prince Caspian. And then he made what is chronologically the first book, The Magician's Nephew. That's right. The first book chronologically is a prequel that starts off the series, but was actually the second to last book made. And then he made the seventh one, which is the actual final one. So
this sounds like a method David Cage would use. God, I'm confused.
Yes. Basically, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is actually the first book made, but the chronology is quite different from the order of which they were published.
You're a fucking mess from what you're telling us.
Yep, and now you know why people release this collection numbered the way it is. I don't think they want it, because if they had technically numbered them in the order they were made, yeah. I
So
think
I'm
you'd
not
be rather confused.
So I am not wrong in thinking that The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is the first book.
Yes.
So what you're telling me is that David Cage looked at the chronology of this series and thought, there's a great story involving Ellen Page here.
Gee, you know what's a sad thing is that he didn't notice the fact that even the people of these days realized that releasing them in that order would be insane. That's why they're numbered properly for chronology. I guess David Cage forgot that step. So, basically, folks, to recap, the second book is the first one made, the fourth book was the second one made, the fifth one was the third one made, the sixth one was the fourth one made, the third one was the fifth one made, the first one chronologically was the second to last one, the sixth book of the series made, and the seventh one remains the last one in both regards.
Okay, so
Everybody got that?
So now,
Yeah.
that we scrambled our audience's minds, let's get back to the film.
There will be a test at the end of the video. I hope you were listening.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
so now we have James McAvoy as I think it's James McAvoy as a unicorn.
Have any of you had the pleasure of seeing Epic Movie?
No.
Yes.
I
Well,
have.
actually, technically, no. I just saw a review of it.
That movie's
Do
so
I take
fucking
it?
stupid.
Have you seen it, Joy?
I have.
Well, I have to.
I still don't understand how the fuck they dragged Colin Firth into that. Colin Firth's character doesn't even have anything to do with the plot. He was just there to be a name on the project.
It's Epic Movie, Pedro. A movie that's made out of pointless cameos for the most part.
Yeah, it's James McAvoy.
Anywho, my video froze for a bit. What time are you at?
15:45, 46.
45, 46. Okay, I'll go to... Let's see where this thing lands. 16:29.
Okay.
So, have you guys read the whole series?
No.
No, I have not.
Oh, you'd enjoy it.
So is it 16:29?
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully, the Peanuts movie will be the first true great movie by Blue Sky Studios.
Well, Ice Age was pretty good.
Yeah, Ice Age was good. Rio was good. Ice Age...
Rio was
2,
good.
1, go.
All right. You were saying, Pedro?
Rio's the most cliche the movie, like literally. That movie's so bland and generic.
I haven't seen Rio.
I will consent that it is kind of cliche, but I wouldn't call it bland and generic. The music's good, the story is well executed, the voice actors are neat. I mean...
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg. Such a great actor to put as a bird.
Oh, come on, Pedro. Jesse Eisenberg actually can act. Or are you still going to hold it against him for
No,
his role in...
my problem with Jesse Eisenberg is that he can only act when he's playing a dick.
No. He actually played Blue in Rio pretty well.
I know. I didn't find him convincing at all, but that's not your 12 topic.
Yeah. Unless he appears in a Narnia film in the future, then that's not
Anywho, meet Mr. Tumnus, a fawn.
Wow. Professor X has a pretty weird origin.
Professor... which Professor X... Oh, wait, you're talking about the younger one.
Yeah, the one from First Class.
I was about to say.
Miss, you shouldn't... Has anyone told you about being invited by strangers?
Then again, I don't think anyone covered what happens if you go through a wardrobe and that leads you to another world.
I think you'd be questioning everything if you went through the back of your cupboard and you ended up in a wonderland.
Well, hey, what if like C.S.Lewis decided to be a troll, and when you go through the wardrobe, through the back, you just end up exactly where you came from?
They actually do that sometimes.
Well, where it's just a revolving. I wonder where they filmed this. Actually, I'm guessing somewhere snowy.
I'll look it up.
Was it filmed on a real location, or is this?
Yeah, I'm sure it was a real location. I mean, you can't.
No, I mean,
Let's
I'm sure.
see.
I'm sure most of it was, but there's got to be some things that weren't.
So yeah, this film was directed by Andrew Adamson. I haven't seen. This is the only film of his that I've seen. Does it say
Kind of like in the
Andrew-
Harry Potter. Oh, sorry, carry on.
Does it say Andrew or Adam or whatever? Go ahead, Siri.
It's a little bit like in the Harry Potter movies, where there were quite a few locations that they wanted to film at, but they weren't able to for some reason. So they built parts of it in a studio and green screened the rest to make it look bigger than the actual location that they wanted to film at was.
Funny, you'd think with Warner Brothers giving them all that money, they'd be able to. Yeah, whatever.
No,
So yeah,
they mentioned it on some behind the scenes stuff, but I can't remember which film it was for.
we've made quite some timing. Apparently, as of June 25th, 2015, the screenwriter for the next movie, Chronicles of Narnia: The Silver Chair, screenwriter David McGee.
David McGee.
David McGee tweeted that the film's script has been completed.
Oh.
So I see what they're doing. So if my guess is correct, they're going to basically do the movies in the order of the production value.
Which is
Because
interesting because the David McGee recently wrote Life of Pi, a film that none of us have seen except for Pedro.
So
Damn it,
yeah.
the washing machine battle commences again.
Oh.
Go forth and fight, dwarves.
So yeah, I kind of wonder why they would do it, but I guess they're paying respect to C.S. Lewis's original order or something.
They'll get around to all the films eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just hope no one in this modern age is confused when the next two films after The Silver Chair are kind of an interquel and a prequel.
I'm sure they won't. We're so used to prequels by now.
Yeah, however, one of them's also an interquel.
Oh,
In fact, that's the one that comes right after The Silver Chair.
I'm
What
sure
was-
there'll be some flashbacks or some sort of...
What kind of instrument is that? A double flute? Or a mini bagpipe?
Is that a clarinet? No.
Maybe
Nah,
it's
it's
a-
a bit too small.
Anywho, the film was shot mainly in New Zealand, though locations were used in Poland, the Czech Republic, and the United Kingdom.
I'm guessing
Oh,
the United Kingdom
instant-
stuff was
Okay, never mind. I wasn't looking at the screen. I didn't realize you were talking about the instrument he's holding.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the UK stuff was mostly for the countryside and the filming inside the house.
Where was it filmed, sorry?
It was filmed mainly in New Zealand, though locations were used also in Poland, the Czech Republic, and the United Kingdom.
Ah,
So, what the hell is happening?
Basically, what's happening now is
flashbacks bore young kids to sleep.
it's sort of foreshadowing. Oh, Pedro, what's your familiarity with the Chronicles of Narnia?
Pretty much none.
Oh,
Have you
you're
seen
in
this
for
film
a-
at all?
I've seen bits of it.
Okay.
Oh, you're in for a treat then. Because Pedro, this film is cool, and of course the book series it's based off of has plenty of symbolism. Though I won't spoil what it is for you. I'll let you have fun seeing if you can find it. So yeah, Tumnus is sort of a spy. The White Witch.
A lot of the characters are, but the thing is, none of them are very happy about it.
Yeah.
Well, then again, if I was forced to live in a land that's nothing but snow, I'd be pretty pissed too.
It'd be winter forever. Oh, God.
Well, she's a little like Elsa, except what she's doing is deliberate.
Run! Wow, Wow, this land is so evil, even some of the trees are working for the White Witch.
Yep, Narnia is a very special place. And for Paige's sake, Dwibs and Shuri, have you guys read the books as well?
So you're telling me that level 5 was referencing this movie when they, or this book rather, when they named the villain the White Witch. Interesting. Harry Potter and Narnia references.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually does make sense considering the motivations, from what I've been able to gather. That reminds me, Shuri and Dwibs, have you guys read all the books or only a few of them?
We did say earlier, no, I've only read a few of them.
Have you read the Last Battle, or...
No.
No.
Oh, okay then. So then I guess for the sake of not spoiling and for not confusing the heck out of you,
Wait,
I'm not
The
going
Last
to explain
Battle? You're telling me that we're going to see Arzak kicking the shit out of people and making them explode? And find the Incredible Hulk Hogan?
Well, unless Hulk Hogan plays a character in that, then yeah.
Basically, there's a very special thing to Narnia that's incredibly complex by the last book, but for now, I'll just fill you in when we get to a certain point on what the prequel tells us.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't work. Of course.
Yeah, because that's how technology works. You want to show people
If you don't,
It doesn't work because I don't believe.
yeah,
in
that's
it.
what I was gonna say. If you don't believe hard enough, then well, that, and if you're under a certain age, then
Are they gonna pull a hook where they go, "I believe in you, I believe in you, I believe in you," wardrobe?
I don't think they do that. However, one of the things about getting to Narnia does have to do with a bit of maturity and age. However, that's to be expounded on more in the second film. Yeah, Edward's kind of a dick for the bit. Of course, that's because he really misses his dad, and wow. Yeah, their father's one of many sent off to war.
mhm.
To be fair to this film, it doesn't take them long to actually find out that it does exist.
Yeah, and they actually do have a and they actually do give the reasons for why they think she might be making this up. They think she may be a bit traumatized by it, so of course she's trying to make believe for something better.
And the fact that
considering
she's the youngest doesn't help.
Yeah. So, just so I can avoid spoiling you and Dwib, Shiroya, can you guys tell me which books you have read at least?
Oh gosh.
Some of the first one. That's it.
This fire burns always. This fire burns.
Do you mean this candle burns always?
I was in Jova. I was in like primary school at the time, so I wouldn't remember exactly which ones I've read, but I highly doubt I actually read them in any sort of order.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Fair enough. It's really tough not knowing whether or not they're actually going to make movies of all of them, though they probably will.
You know, you
on
probably
the
shouldn't
fourth
get
one.
into that wardrobe with the candle with you because you'll burn the clothes.
And the wardrobe.
there
Never
we
mind
go.
that.
Yeah, the film knew some Portuguese guy would ask a question about that, and they anticipated it.
So many questions.
Yeah.
Where do you think
So-
she is? Ha! You didn't believe, so there you go.
Close your eyes and believe, then open it. Oh, or does he? Oh.
Oh yeah, he gets through.
Ew. Now he's in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Huh.
Time to eat some really gross food.
Yeah. Fun. No,
and now you've got hypothermia.
no, that's not how you do a Sonic imitation. You're supposed to fall from the sky, then hit the ground in your face.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, like I was saying, so he's got hypothermia now, right? He fell.
Nope.
To be fair, hypothermia is more so when you get an instant shock, and he didn't exactly plunge right into it. He was sort of prepped for it when he felt the cold air in the closet. Granted, he will be feeling cold, that's for certain, but luckily the robe will do for now.
I imagine that the scenes like this were probably filmed in Wales and Scotland.
And also, don't worry, guys. I don't think the White Witch makes any Mr. Freeze puns.
I don't think she makes any puns.
Nah, I think she does in the epic movie, though.
Let's see how this story ends. I'm sure the ending will be engaging.
So,
Okay.
so yeah,
hey, guys.
there's
No,
all
don't mind me. Dweb's Nino Kuni reference, since there's a White Witch in there too.
Yeah. Hey guys, this is making chills run down my spine.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Oh look, it's Santa Claus.
Jingle.
Well,
no.
Nope. It's the big villain. Ladies and gentlemen, the White Witch played... Oh. No, that's the White Witch.
That's a pretty interesting witch.
Okay, no.
Oh,
No.
wait, but she really lets herself go.
This is her lackey.
No, that's a lackey.
I know just the thing to defeat you, witch. I wish for you to have a heart.
Unfortunately, this witch does have a heart.
Damn.
Okay.
It's
And
the
here
big
she
villain with the big hair.
is.
Isn't that the chick from Lord of the Rings?
Is the White Witch, played by who played the White Witch?
Isn't this
Alright.
actress the same one who played that also kind of mystical chick from the Lord of the Rings movies?
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton. Okay, was she in Lord of the Rings?
I'm gonna check.
I'm on it. There was a second. I don't see anything about Lord of the Rings.
Is that Kate Blanchett?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that was Kate Blanchett. You're right. No, she looks a bit like.
Has she been in anything we might know?
She was. Oh my god, she was in Moonrise Kingdom. Ugh.
What's that?
It's an overrated piece of crap.
What was Moonrise Kingdom?
One of the most recent films by Wes Anderson.
Not a big
Oh, yeah,
Anderson fan, I
apparently she's-
take
No,
it.
I don't know. It's exactly because of the fact that I'm a Wes Anderson fan that I hate that movie, because I still have no idea what the fuck he was smoking when he wrote that.
And she's also going to be in Doctor Strange.
Just to give you an idea, Dwebs, it's a family film where about two 13-year-old lovers, and we have a scene where the boy grabs the girl's boob. And it's supposed to be adorable and charming. Just to give you an idea.
There's nothing adorable and charming about that at all.
Have you seen
Well,
Moonrise Kingdom, Shiori?
according to Wes Anderson, this is family entertainment.
Yes, children groping each other is family entertainment.
Anywho, the White Witch is trying to get on Edmund's good side.
And
Like
also she has
Turkish delight.
she has a thing for Turkish delight for some reason. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I can't remember. But that stuff is gross.
Because it looks like it's an ice cube.
No. Actually, it's Edmund who asked for Turkish delight.
Let me guess. The witch is feeding him so that she can, put him under some kind of spell or something, so she can,
I don't think it's a spell. I think she's trying to do this.
She's acting nice so she can convince him that she's the good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, there's sort of a prophecy involving four...
They call it two
kids.
sons of Adam and two daughters of Eve.
Oh,
Yep.
joy. Christianity metaphor.
Well,
Pedro, to be fair, this sort of is going to be based around that.
Well, then again, I saw according to the 5-second movie parody of this movie made by Doug, basically a lot of shit, and then suddenly, how did you do that? And then the line, because I'm Jesus.
That's exactly the idea.
Yeah, this isn't lying about its unsubtleness.
Yeah. And to be fair, this is one that actually feels legit with how it's played
I have no
out.
problem with that. I'm just saying that. Okay.
Either way, though,
It's-
you're going to have fun with the symbolism.
I don't think it's ever really said that these 4 children are the chosen ones. All it says is that they just need 2 sons of Adam and 2 daughters of Eve.
So would the witch be the apple?
Well...
Maybe?
Actually, I'm not quite sure what the apple is, but I don't think it's the witch based off of the events of the first, chronologically the first book.
Oh, hi, girl. What's her name again?
Lucy.
Yeah,
Lucy.
thanks.
Okay.
Lucy, Edmund, Peter.
Susan?
and-
Is it Susan?
Yeah, Susan, I think.
How do you know that?
Because she's already spoken to Mr. Tumnus earlier.
Oh, right. How did we get out of here?
Remember, we're British.
Indeed.
Ah,
A guy named Peter going into a land involving a story centering around maturity and age.
Percy Jackson.
Ahem, in London. Well, from London.
Oh.
Come on, we just should know this one.
Peter Jackson. Oh, no, wait, he's from New Zealand. I give up.
Peter Pan.
Oh.
I can fly.
What does it mean knowing more about the stuff from your country than you?
Basically, he's being a dick again. By lying about the whole... Yeah.
About the world and whatnot. To the story's credit, it actually does bring up a reason for this later on.
And also, I think the 3rd time around is the time where they all end up there. So
Oh, hello.
that's the man of the house, I think.
So this is Professor Layton when he's older.
Is it now?
Huh.
Where's the top hat?
He gave it up. He gave it to his children.
I thought we weren't allowed to. I thought we
actually
weren't
did.
allowed to talk about the hat.
Well, if that too, but
We can't wear the hat forever. Eventually, he has to give it up. And besides, he wants to show off his awesome hair.
No.
True, and going off of Lost Future, what happens in that one, he may have finally gotten out of that.
We'll see. But the point I was making is that no, actually, didn't give it. I didn't see the professor growing a beard, honestly.
Oh.
Is that Jim Broadbent?
Oh, what did you say? You found a fantasy land in a wardrobe? So he instantly believes them?
There's actually a reason for this, but, well...
Jover,
Okay.
is the professor played by Jim Broadbent? Yeah, sounds
don't-
like him. Yes, Jim Broadbent.
Oh. Well, there you go.
So that's 2 big mystical franchises Jim Broadbent has been in.
Yeah, what else was he in?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
But yeah, okay. The film doesn't quite explain why he knows, but there actually is a reason. It has to do with the first book.
But the first book in publishing.
No. The first book in chronology. So basically, the 6th book
Wait,
in
but
publishing.
isn't this the first movie in chronology? Okay, fuck
Oh,
this.
okay,
The
okay,
chronology
okay.
of this stupid series is confusing as hell. I'm not
Okay,
gonna
okay.
slaughter anymore.
Okay, Pedro. Just to clarify, chronologically, this is based off of the second story. Chronologically. But production-wise, this is based off of the first story ever made. Basically, the first one chronologically is actually the 6th one, the second to last one, production-wise.
Jova, we've already mindfucked the audience. Do we really need to mindfuck Pedro as well?
Oh, you're saying it's explained in the prequel.
Yeah, I might as well tell you though, since we have not heard any news about a movie being made for that, and it may be a while. Basically, in the first one, called The Magician's Nephew, the professor was actually a kid in that book, and like at the time he was living with his uncle, who was a magician, who was also a dick, who liked to use them as guinea pigs and whatnot. So basically, he had this friend of his, a girl, and basically the uncle was testing out this magic ring scientific magical ring that could send you to different worlds. So basically, in the process, they got sent to this world of stone and whatnot, and they actually ended up freeing what is now the White Witch. She came back with them, and, chaos ensued in London that night. Then they ended up getting transported to, what was not yet Narnia, but was all just a black void. I won't spoil how Narnia was created yet, since, that'll involve a character we're going to meet later. But basically, long story short, they thwarted the witches. Oh, yeah, actually, there was a part with the evil witch in an apple orchard, trying to goad the professor and his friend, remember they were kids at the time, into eating an apple, and they resisted from doing that. Basically, at the time, there was dumb animals and there were intelligent animals. The intelligent ones who could speak and the dumb ones who couldn't. So basically, they brought back a golden apple for a certain task. I forget which that is, but they also ended up bringing a lamppost with them. Basically, I believe that the professor brought back some... Oh yeah, now I remember. He planted a tree to help his mother who was dying at the time. He got an apple from Narnia. So he ended up cutting up the tree and made the wardrobe out of that tree. And that's why he believes them.
Okay.
Did you get all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's any consolation, you'll probably have forgotten by the time there's a movie announced on that.
If by getting all that you mean confused out of my fucking gore, yeah.
All right. Basically, Pedro, long story short, the professor was a kid back then, and he believes it because he made that wardrobe out of a tree from Narnia.
Okay, then. Then why doesn't he just... There you go, will you fucking... So, are the others gonna, slap this stupid moron from lying, making the little girl...
They're gonna do just more than that. Yes, she should. They're not all going to slap him, but he is getting lectured, and they are going to do some more stuff. I'm sure he won't mind at all.
Kids, where did my jackets go?
Yes, I know it's a girl's coat. Now wear your punishment like a man. Yeah, that's one thing I like. Edmund definitely gets his for what he does.
Oh, yeah. He deserves it.
Yeah, he's a prick.
Exactly.
So anyway, now we're voyaging through this magical land to find Mr. Tumnus.
Mm-hmm.
With some nice music.
Mm-hmm. I like how some tracks have this trope of having sometimes an Irish or Scottish or Welsh woman singing inaudible stuff. Surprised we haven't thought up a genre for that kind of music yet.
Okay. Ooh.
The doors barged in. Not a good sign.
Nope.
I think Mr. Tumnus may be in a spot of bother.
Yeah.
God damn it, we're not 42 minutes in and already something's gone horribly wrong. It'd be like if in Harry Potter he went to Hogwarts, but Hogwarts was already blown up.
Oops.
But that's alright, the place was pretty much wrecked anyway. Ooh, note. Yep, Tumnus has been charged with
Treason.
high treason, Jova.
Yeah.
I guess high treason... Okay, well, high treason, I don't think it's punishable by death in this universe, but arguably the punishment here is actually worse.
She's an evil queen, so...
Yeah, Edmund, how did she figure out that Tumnus helped her?
God damn it, is this character ever going to do anything remotely decent?
Oh, he will.
well, he does get it. Well, yeah, we can confirm that he does get his
I'm
comeuppance.
44 minutes in and I don't like this guy at all.
Well, you're not necessarily supposed to like him at this point. Basically, Edmund's going through a lot of phases, and let's just say he feels very emotionally unstable, which is sort of what helps lead him towards trusting the White Witch. Also, he doesn't want to reveal that he let slip about Lucy hanging out with Mr. Tumnus.
Welcome to Narnia. I am Mr. Tumnus.
I'm Professor X. Oh boy. Oh. A beaver.
A beaver.
Well, yeah. We have to play out the Britishness somehow, Pedro. Even though I'm sure these actors... I think the actors are British. Oh, who's the voice of the beaver?
I'll check. Let's see. Ray Winston. Well, Ray Winstone.
Ray Winston? Huh.
Yeah, that name ring a bell?
Yeah. He's a pretty well-known British actor.
Neat.
A beaver voiced by Ray Winston. Huh.
It's never thought you'd see that.
Wait, I think I remember there is a character voiced by someone, but then he got replaced by Simon Pegg later on.
Let's see. I don't
Yes.
think I see a Simon Pegg, though maybe that's one of the lesser ones.
Remember that some of the trees are evil.
Yep.
Okay. So now we get to see the beaver's house or hut or...
One thing I like about the story of Narnia is that it's, in some ways, it acts like a Ghibli film, in basically how nonchalant it is with how mystical everything is. The characters actually adapt pretty well to the world.
And who's voicing Mrs. Beaver?
Dawn French.
Dawn French. Another.
Yeah, I can hear that now.
Yeah.
That name sounds familiar.
She's also isn't she the fat lady in the third Harry Potter film?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Okay. Now, what's the young kid's name again?
Which one?
Lucy. The youngest one is Lucy.
No, the youngest boy.
Edmund.
Oh, Edmund.
Now, Edmund, can you please go 15 minutes without being a prick again?
He kinda sorta might. Let's
So,
just say that comeuppance of his isn't too far away.
okay, right, for those of you who haven't seen this, take a few guesses how long it'll take for Edmund to fuck up again.
About 5 minutes. Again, it's been a while since I've seen this film.
I'd say that's a pretty accurate estimation then.
Fucking shit. See, that's the thing I have. If a character acts like an absolute knobhead throughout most of the film, by the time he tries to redeem himself, it's far too late.
And luckily with Edmund, he doesn't go that far over the halfway point as a bad person. In fact, he does eventually learn his lesson.
I'd be like, imagine if as a character.
I'm guessing Dwebs is much more tolerant to asshole characters when they're portrayed Scorsese or Tarantino style.
Yeah.
Basically, Dwebs, you have to remember...
Like, imagine if there was a character who did nothing but kill innocent people, and then by the end, and then even though they tried to redeem him by saving like a dog or something, by then it's too late.
Luckily, they don't do that stuff with Edmund. I mean, I'll give the story, like I said, to the story's credit, there is actually a reason why Edmund is acting like this. He's a kid, for one, and second, he's been kind of a wreck ever since having to leave, and he misses his father, and also there's his, how shall we say, sort of puberty, but not puberty. He has that tendency to want to be mischievous at times. And there's also the fact that he trusts the White Witch because she's been nothing but kind to him, and now hears everyone else saying that she's so evil.
Well, no kid I know ever acted like him.
Depends. I mean, let's put it like this, Dwibs. How would you react if, like, say, someone who had shown nothing but kindness to you, then all of a sudden people come out of the bloom saying, oh, she's actually evil, she'll stab you in the back.
Well, unfortunately, I have had that experience in real life, and it is not a nice feeling.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Basically, Dwibs, I mean, you may want to be a bit more easier than an Edmund. Not too easy by any means. He deserves a lot of what's coming to him, but he's kind of a kid, and I can see a kid his age. I think he's 10 or 12 at the moment.
He's got to be about that.
Okay,
Yeah.
So basically they just pulled the, you children are heroes. No, we're not, we're just children.
Another Harry Potter.
Yeah, I can't be a wizard. I mean, I'm just Harry. Just
And now
Harry.
Edmund's run off, and because he's prideful, does not want to take the woman's coat.
Yes, I will freeze to death instead, because...
Oh, instead, he's going to the White Witch's castle to warn her.
Clap, clap, clap.
That was me banging my forehead.
Oh, okay.
That's legit. Oh, come on, Dweebs. Just because a character acts like a dick on the surface doesn't always mean they're a dick all the way through.
Isn't it also in the prophecy
But
that
he's been
somebody...
like this for 50 minutes.
No, you have one thing you have to understand, Joe, is that the Adventures movies are kind of traumatized Dwebs when it comes to this kind of thing.
Jova, quick question. Isn't it also kind of in the prophecy that one of them would betray them?
Yeah.
It is Jesus. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He portrays the real king.
You might as well call Edmund Judas.
So the only thing that's missing here is Don Davis showing up and doing a music like
Also, Dweebs, you have to remember, this film is longer than our usual film commentaries, so, sometimes the distribution grows in ratio with it. Like, whereas with an hour film, it'll take, maybe less than 30 minutes for the character to redeem himself, whereas with this over 2-hour film, they want to make it, actually... Well, basically, Dibs, if he became good and redeemed himself too quickly in a film like this, some people would probably call BS on that.
Yeah, I know, but if he's a dick for but if he's a dick like 90% of the film, the 10%.
No. I can assure you, Dwibs, it's nowhere near 90 or even 70. Okay, maybe I'd say at most 60% of the film he's a dick, but nothing really beyond that.
Wow.
In fact,
hey guys, if I didn't know any better, I swear these statues were once real. See, look, they look so lifelike. The White Witch must hire an amazing craftsman.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he gets his comeuppance, I'd say halfway through the film, or just going into the end of the second third of the film.
Actually, his comeuppance is coming up rather soon. In fact, I think it's in this.
That CGI has not aged well at all.
And the timing I'm thinking of, Jover, is the bit where two same characters have a little bit of a meeting later on.
That CGI wolf looks about just as bad as the werewolves in the Twilight films. Granted,
this came out
granted, this came out 3 years before. Then again, the first CGI wolf in Twilight was in New Moon, which was 2009. So technically 4 years earlier.
This is 2005.
So this one at least has that excuse.
Yeah, this has the excuse of coming out in 2005.
When did Prisoner of Azkaban come out?
2004.
2003. I thought it was 2000, yeah.
2004.
What would you say about the wolves and the dogs and such?
Those were fine
In that
for me. I thought they looked fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think this had
Well, then again, didn't Harry Potter have a bigger budget than these movies?
Oh, it would have.
Probably, yeah. You will bow before the White Witch, and you will act like an absolute knobhead once again.
Actually, I believe it's soon to come at this point where things will start going downhill for Edmund.
Please get out of my throne.
Having fun?
Yeah, because she looks like a person I would trust.
Well, let's remember, Dibs, the first time we met her, she was a lot friendlier in stance.
Alright, I'll be right back and need a drink. Not of alcohol.
Again, it's a
No,
shame.
we're not.
It's a shame because Drebs is a very fun drunk.
I only reserve alcohol for shitty films like Chabby.
Oh yeah, another thing great about this film. Tilda Swinton's performance. She's kind of like the Eddie Redmayne before we got Eddie Redmayne in Jupiter.
She's a little bipolar.
And now it kind of becomes where why Edmund started to latch on to her because, well, he kind of needed a friend of sorts.
Alright. You guys still there?
Oh, Dwibs, you just missed a feminine Eddie Redmayne.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't put on an elderly voice, so that's not entirely accurate.
Okay, basically, it sort of revealed why Edmund is so trusting of her. It's because he sort of wanted a caring person, a friend of sorts, who he sort of felt he was lacking. Because, well, without a mother figure or a father figure around, he kind of went a bit berserk. And now it's starting to become apparent to him how she's not as nice as she initially thought she was. In that she's probably going to start mistreating him.
I'd say Susan and what's his name?
Peter.
Yeah, I'd say they wouldn't buy into the White Witch because they're the oldest.
Yeah.
Lucy is young, but she's not really at an impressionable age.
Lucy was lucky because she met Mr. Tumnus first instead. Edmund's
kind of at that awkward age.
Yeah.
Slightly more impressionable.
And it doesn't help that he was kind of resentful of his siblings because, they don't quite get along well, and they sort of spend a lot of their time having to be mother and father for him, calling him out on his stuff. So
there's quite a gap. There's quite a gap between their ages as well, which doesn't help.
Yeah.
Can all have different effects on different people of different ages, so it's not completely out of place that one of them would be a bit of a little shit.
That's another thing I actually like about the story of, this story in particular, is how they actually show, how a family can bicker amongst themselves, and it actually goes out of its way to not try and pad it with, oh, your kid may get misled, but not misled this badly. No, they actually show, yes, your sibling or something can be misled, given the situation.
I'd say, Susan and Peter, yeah, I'd say 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 Susan and Peter, yeah, I'
So yeah.
And she fell over because... what?
Oh, that he's been
Oh.
frozen. That's
Yeah.
Mr. Tumnus.
No, that's
No, I think.
not Mr.
Oh
Tumnus,
no, that's the beaver. Yeah. Sorry, the film's quite dark right now.
basically that's one of Beaver's old friends.
Literally.
Yeah.
Turn down the lights.
No, that's what I meant.
Dark in all sorts of ways.
Is that?
Yeah. Okay, I'll look up who it is. Starting to see a
I'm
pattern
pretty
here.
sure he was the. I'm pretty sure he was the prince in the Shrek films, but I'm not
Ooh, the
quite.
fox.
Yeah.
The fox is voiced by Rupert Everett.
Rupert Everett.
Yep.
Wait, Rupert Everett. I think I've heard of that guy.
Me too.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, he's that guy who... That British guy from... isn't that the British guy from Inspector Gadget?
I don't know. The Wolf Leader sounds like Christian Bale
I'm just scrolling down.
in
a
his
moment.
Batman voice.
Let's see. He's voiced by Michael Madsen.
Michael Madsen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was in a Bond film once.
Yep.
Die Another Day of all films.
A lot of British film trivia we're getting from this, aren't we?
Well, it was filmed in the UK. Mostly. Well, somewhat. And
He was in the Wild Thornberrys movie. Yeah, he was the prince in the Shrek films. Yep, this film.
Okay, my video froze again. What time are you guys at?
60, 26, 27, 28.
Yeah, what?
Any of you guys seen Saint Trinians?
No.
Nope.
I have not.
Okay.
Alright, I'm at 60:52.
Okay.
It's interesting. Zero Dweb's having these problems.
Yeah, I've passed my curse on to Jova.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And click.
Okay. Has an upcoming film listed here. It's called Ed Sheeran 2. Okay.
Eh? Whoa.
Was there an Ed Sheeran 1?
I don't know.
That's a problem though. It's like Leonard Part 6. You know, you need
So,
a first
Apparently-
film after
Apparently
another
he's
number.
playing Edward. Wait, what the fuck? I need.
Edward. So yeah, speaking
Edmund
of...
is...
Edmund is not doing so hot.
Yeah, now this is where it's come up and
I need to look this up.
Basically, the White Witch is really outraged with him and like, well, basically, as a counterpart to when she was first nice to him and gave him Turkish delight and some fine drink, I forget.
He's getting
Now
a
he just,
Frozen
Now he just-
Flight.
yep, and stale bread chained up.
So yeah, you put, Professor X, use your mind powers.
And now Edmund gets to see the fruits of his labor. He sees that Tumnus, who he sort of revealed was going with Lucy, is now chained up and imprisoned.
How does it feel, you little shit? That's a question though. I wonder, is there any character you've seen where he's an absolutely unbearable arsehole?
Well, it depends, Dribs, because like, well, normally I can deal with it so long as they get the proper send off, or like, well, if
Comeuppance.
it's handled. Well, not always. It's a matter of them getting comeuppance because you can't always expect them to get comeuppance, but also have a story where respects them as said dick or something. To me, it depends from story to story. I have no really set definitions. So
Ugh.
now Edmund... Well, actually, to be fair, Dwibs, now he's actually doing it because she's threatening to hurt Mr. Tumnus.
No, it's threatening to hurt him.
At 2. Oh wait, I think I may have had that mixed up.
Pedro.
Yeah,
Pedro?
yeah, what is it?
Who is the absolute most unbearable arsehole you've ever seen in a film?
The chick from Gone Girl.
Ah, right, okay. And Shiori?
I'll take Alex the Large any day, because at least Alex the Large is at least a fun asshole.
I'm not sure.
I'm surprised you didn't say the guy from Social Network, Pedro.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Would that be Mark Zuckerberg, Shiori?
Yeah.
So the White Witch reveals to Mr. Tumnus that Edmund sold him out, even though Edmund didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, being a shit feels bad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
See, and we're not even, well, we're just about halfway through the movie. So yeah, it didn't take long.
Asking you shall receive, Dwibs.
See, that
Wait. Did they just rip off Lord of the Rings? They just did the mountain shot that Peter Jackson loves to do in the Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah, to be fair, there are mountains in the
That's
book,
like-
so it's legit.
That's the thing. A character trope that I think the most hated character trope that I really can't stand, at all, is the arsehole who doesn't get any comeuppance whatsoever.
Luckily for you, Edmund is nowhere near that. Oh boy. Trust me, his suffering has only begun now.
I swear I've seen something recently where there's an arsehole who doesn't get any comeuppance. Yeah, that.
This isn't just like this isn't just his comeuppance. There's more to come for this kid.
It's not a David Fincher film, so
At least there are some characters around here who are half decent people.
Yeah. And now she doesn't even let him ride on the same seat as her.
what a bitch.
I'm surprised she's not making him drive the thing.
But then again, what would he know about riding a sleigh?
True.
Alright, so they're on their way to try and find Liam Neeson.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine a more awesome piece of casting? Liam Neeson
you're
as
right.
a lion.
He works out in this one at least.
Yeah. I'm just saying, can you get any better than Liam Neeson as a lion?
Depends. There's Liam Neeson as a water deity.
When was that?
Ponyo.
Oh. So, pardon me. Dwibs and his burps. He was in Lego Movie, wasn't he?
Oh, goody, this part.
So, we got our obligatory chase through the forest. And inside a cave, which I'm pretty sure not all of them can fit him.
No, it's actually pretty big.
If they're wolves, are these the kind of wolves that can sense by a smell?
I think those are reindeer. No, Dwibs. Dwibs. The White Witch's carriage is actually pulled by white reindeer.
I meant the wolves that were hunting them earlier.
Yes, I believe they can smell them out.
I'd stay there for a little bit, guys.
Don't rush. Yes, she's gone. Who's singing?
That's
don't
my
know.
sister.
Oh.
Excuse me for a moment.
Okay, and Jova, mute your mic, please.
Says the guy who never does.
Ah,
Oh, I think this is the bit where I'm just pretty much like, what the fuck?
I think most of the sum's kind of like, what the fuck?
No, this bit in particular, if it's what I'm thinking of. Ask and you shall receive, Pedro.
Oh, hi, Dumbledore. Who's this guy played by?
Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, now we actually do get Santa Claus.
Yeah. Wow, C.S.Lewis was really,
All right, I'm back. Oh, goody, yeah. So, yeah, Pedro, can you guess who this is?
Santa Claus.
Yep.
Wait, where's the red jacket and the hat?
I think
Well,
he's wearing a slightly dark red among black and other stuff.
This is based off of, the much
I get it. This is
original
the
Santa Claus.
This is an edgy, modern
No.
Santa Claus.
No, Pedro. Actually, it's more based on, the really, really, really original Santa Claus, before the whole thing. Basically in the older versions of Santa Claus, in some cases it was a really old guy wearing red and black and brown, and he couldn't fly at times, but more so as the reindeer.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, they never...
let's give the spoiled child a dagger.
And to be fair, isn't it? They don't outright say Santa Claus, but I guess he's at the very least he's definitely a representation of Santa Claus. So I could see why they would have edged up the look. Besides, it would have been a bit over the top even for Narnia for Santa Claus to come flying in on a sled when even the White Witch can't do that. So yeah, basically he's giving them gifts.
But not just gifts, Jova. These are things that can help them on their quest.
Mm-hmm. Huh, he's like the bearded guy from the Zelda games.
This is a magical piece of white snake. It will allow you to communicate with the animal world. So he's Crispin.
How about that?
And for you, Edward, I give you the sword and the shield. Peter, sorry. Please don't put that thing near me. I do have to give other presents out, I can't do that very well if I've got a sword sticking out of my bloody stomach.
Unless it's the Santa Claus and you have a successor.
Well, if Arthur at Christmas is anything to be believed, yeah.
Yeah, get Tim Allen in. It's funny.
That's another movie we really need to do sometime, Arthur Christmas, because that movie is awesome.
This is funny. Narnia really does suit Disney more than it does Fox.
Oh yeah, that's right. Now I remember.
Isn't this a Disney movie?
Yeah,
I mean,
the first two are Disney. The third one's Fox.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember now. See, the showing up of this old man is actually a representation that's actually Christmas, which means that time is actually moving forward, and thus winter is finally coming to a close. See, it's sort of been stuck in a loop because of the White Witch, but now the loop is breaking, and of course, with that, the snow melts, which makes crossing the waterfall a bit more challenging, to say the least.
He who will save this doomed world shall die.
What timing, though? I mean, their presence is helping the world, but it's unfortunately making their trek a bit more difficult, right as the wolves have found them.
Well, Jova, because it is perfect. Oh wait, sorry, I'm getting ahead. We haven't gotten to that part of the game yet.
Game?
Kuni. I'm making Kuni White Witch jokes.
Ah, okay.
I wonder if that game was kind of inspired by this.
It is. The game is heavily Kuni is heavily inspired by a lot of classic fantasy works. Harry Potter. This probably.
Makes sense with how Oliver enters the world through something that looks a bit like the wardrobe.
Mm-hmm. Well, not so much. I mean, the wardrobe is magical and shit, whereas Oliver literally magically creates a portal because he's a wizard and everything.
So you must be careful.
Oh, that's sort of never mind. But yeah, that's sort of a similarity to the magician's nephew. But yeah, okay. So yeah, they need to cross the waterfall without breaking the ice too far.
Well, then again, I don't think your mum could really help you all that much through this.
Yeah.
Could you imagine it, though, if they died? I wonder what the insurance would have to be. The kids died when they went into a cupboard and vanished.
What do you think, Pedro?
I don't know. No, that's not how a wolf should sound. Down there's the crystal cave. Yes, listen to a wolf, because that's clearly the sensible thing to do.
Peter and the Wolf.
Oh, that story. Why is she pointing out the flaws of the plot?
But it's the prophecy, Pedro.
Oh yeah. That's another thing. This story was actually.
You gotta wonder what Peter's thinking, though. My God, I entered through a portal into a fantasy land, and now I'm almost to be killed by a talking wolf. Thank God it's only Friday.
Yeah, as I was saying, I don't quite remember if it was in the book as well, but the film definitely also what's the word? Yeah, it's actually sort of a deconstruction on the whole prophecy thing. I mean, yes, they do fulfill the prophecy, but they do deconstruct the whole "oh, it must be you" thing about the prophecy.
And the beaver died from jumping into the very cold water. Well, they're all dead. Movie over. How are they not?
I'm pretty
Because
sure
this
that
isn't
water. I'm pretty sure that
because this
water
isn't
would literally
Titanic.
drain. I'm pretty sure that water would literally drain the air out of their lungs. Even fucking Titanic got that right.
I don't
Actually,
care I don't care
actually,
if
to
it's
give it-
foreign.
they do give they apparently. I think they give a reason for this, that the water is warming up because, yay, it's around springtime now.
But
I
it
guess.
shouldn't warm up that quick, should it?
I don't know.
Actually, this goes back into the play about Narnia being really, really, really magical. It can sort of turn seasons rather quickly.
AKA, it's a fantasy movie, Dwayne. Just roll
Yeah,
with it.
and they lost Lucy.
Oh no, Lucy's dead.
Oh. Well, I don't think the code's going to really do you much good now, is it?
Maybe bringing along our helpless 5-year-old into this adventure wasn't a good idea. Maybe we should have...
To be fair, Pedro, Lucy was the one who led them into there, not to mention the fact that she was at the time the one who knew the most about the world.
There's one thing I'm wondering. How do Fox expect Silverchair to do all that well? It's been years since Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
I can see what they're going for. It's based off of the Chronicles of Narnia, a timeless book series.
Well, yeah, but the second and third films didn't make all that much money compared to this one, so...
This was the most known, though, I think. Anyway.
My guess is that they're running off of the mentality that it may not make that much, but they'll still make enough to profit, since it's Chronicles of Narnia. I mean, you could sell it on an audience of the books anyway.
I mean, hell, I haven't even seen either Prince Caspian or Voyage of the Dawn Treader. The only thing I remember is laughing at Prince Caspian because that used to be the name of a local takeaway I go to.
Okay, basically, Dwibs,
I was like, Prince Caspian. Wow, the takeaways in this film.
The difference here, Dwibs, is like, well, this is based off of a book series, so of course the interest is still there because, well, people are constantly reading the books. It's like the equivalent if, like, say, there was a Harry Potter hiatus. I mean, money aside, even if there were a big hiatus, people would still be remembering about Harry Potter because, well, it's Harry Potter, a famous book series. So, basically, the Chronicles of Narnia films, going off of a theory, not saying that this is actually that, but I hypothesized that, well, I know Chronicles of Narnia is a very popular book series, so my guess is that they're running off of the logic that they won't need... Oh, yeah, Fox just got frozen. Yeah, the Fox that helped him.
He deserved that.
Yay. Yeah.
I'll take the fox at this point.
So what exactly is the witch's deal? Like, what's her backstory? What's her motivation for all this?
Okay,
Nobody
basically...
explains.
She wants to rule the world.
Or is it... Oh, of course.
Hold on, let me explain. Okay, basically the witch originates from a completely different world, and she was brought here inadvertently by the old professor when he was a kid.
Are we actually going to get that explanation in this movie?
Well, no.
Not in this one, but I think when we eventually do get to the prequel film, I'm sure it would be explained there.
Exactly. Basically the prequel film will be based off of the first book chronologically. Basically...
What the hell?
Okay.
What's that? What was that thing waving at Lucy?
A bunch of flowers forming into a person
part of the
waving
trees.
hello.
Of course, because that can happen.
It's part of the trees. Even the trees are alive here. Anywho, so yeah, basically the deal with the White Witch is that she originated from a completely different world, and apparently she's the sole survivor from that world. Yeah, she has super strength and everything. Feel free to make your Krypton jokes. Basically, they end up bringing her to their world. She causes chaos in London, and then eventually they came to what would eventually become Narnia. Basically, the White Witch did not like it because at the time it was very sunny and well, she does not respond well to that.
Very well, fine. In that case, since it's not explained in this movie, at least I'll just look at her as Queen Isabella. I am Queen Isabella, and you have entered my domain now.
That's kind of actually her stick. She's very dominant, and she loves control, to say the least. But yeah, that'll do.
You
Please?
are not a very good actor, are you?
Ivory's very nervous, or
Try enunciating next time, dude.
I think he's nervous.
He's
The
nervous.
5-year-old is a better actor than you.
Well, Pedro, if you're talking about him being nervous, he actually is supposed to be nervous at this point.
No, I'm not talking about him being nervous. I'm talking about he didn't enunciate. He has to enunciate before. Oh, there he is. There's
Yay,
Jesus.
Liam Neeson.
Would you be a bit nervous if
No, it's not.
you met...
It's not the nervous thing. That's my problem.
Okay,
It's the fact that he didn't enunciate when he spoke. But that's yeah. Well,
I
hey,
can chalk
Liam.
that up to that being a product of nervousness with enunciating. I've seen a lot of cases with that, myself included.
Guys, shh.
Yeah, no sugarcoating it.
Betrayed.
Interesting little bit of... Oh, sorry. Little bit of
Gotcha.
trivia for those of you who don't know. The lion, for the most part, is real.
For
Yep.
the most part.
Well, obviously, the CGI mouth and
Oh,
such.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's an actual real lion that they
It's an
filmed.
actual lion, yes.
wait. Well, whenever he's talking, I'm guessing it's CGI.
Yeah,
But
no,
like
that's what I'm
the-
trying to say. That's why I said
It's
real
just
for
the
the
mouth
most
that's-
part.
Yep. Basically, the mouth. Basically, the whole line is real except for the mouth and its
Yeah.
face at times. But yeah, that's an actual lion.
I can't remember what zoo it came from, but he was featured on one of those safari documentaries a few years back.
This kid,
Mm-hmm.
this kid right here, he's reminding me of the main actor from Aragon.
Eric. I haven't
He's
seen Aragon.
ridiculous than that.
Don't. It's a piece of shit.
Aragon is one of
I've heard the books weren't very good anyway, were they?
No, they weren't. They're basically both a rip-off of Lord of the Rings and Star Wars.
So basically, with Aslan, he is the creator of Narnia, to say the least. Basically,
Because I'm Jesus.
Well, yeah.
he's pretty much an amalgamation of Jesus and God.
Of course, of course, he's Jesus. He's voiced by Liam Neeson.
Well. Actually, Dwebs, if you're gonna go by that joke, shouldn't it be Jim Caviezel?
Who?
Never heard of that guy.
Jim Caviezel, the guy who played Jesus in Passion of the Christ.
Oh.
He usually when it comes to Jim Caviezel, ever since he made that movie, it's kind of been a running gag among internet about how Jim Caviezel. Well, that's because for example, right now he's the main actor in Person of Interest, and every time he survives a very nasty affair in that show, there's always a joke, someone who goes with the joke, well, he is Jesus and shit. And the interesting thing is that I have the series on DVD and I saw the bloopers, and even he himself is aware of those jokes. He himself makes jokes like that on set during the blooper stuff. So that's pretty awesome.
I've never heard of that meme, surprisingly, because usually whenever we talk about God, we say Morgan Freeman.
Well, the thing is, Jove, is that Jim Caviezel is not really an actor who's like as widely known as Liam Neeson, for example. Like, he's more of a TV actor, you know.
Yeah.
Yay! There's a big battle coming up. Let's splash each other.
Ah! It's Jacob. Oh, I'm sorry, the wolf.
Luckily, he doesn't imprint on Earth, so already he's better than Jacob.
Ugh, God. You had to. I'm trying so hard to repress that memory, and you had to bring it back.
Well, Pedro, why don't you try viewing it? Yeah, you know, it's stuff like that in Twilight that I can never view that series as a comedy.
No. See, that's the thing, Joe.
Oh.
Nobody. When I'm talking about those movies being comedies,
hold on.
Okay.
Pivotal scene here. Now, at first it seems a bit awkward, but it later goes to show you what they're going for.
I think he just stabbed a wolf.
Well, I just got saved by my two little sisters. I think I can turn in my balls now.
Wait, you define that as saving him? He was the one who killed the wolf.
True, but he would have probably died if it wasn't for them.
Oh, no. The wolf's not that happy. They just got him off him. Anywho, this scene is pivotal because it sort of shows Peter's maturing and how he finally comes to realize what world he's in. Granted, there's another scene that builds on that further.
Yay, our hero, Peter from London.
Surprisingly, they do the whole awkward kid at the start but then hero later thing here actually well. And much better than they did in Planet of the Apes 2001. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Mark Wahlberg, but...
Well, the problem with that movie is that Mark Wahlberg was kind of miscast in that and not the hilariously kind of miscast like in Happening.
Hey, Jova.
Yeah?
But Jova, be honest. Any actor who had to work with a script written by the guys who wrote Superman 4, it wouldn't really work out, would it?
Not really, no. You got freaking Marlon Brando in that, and
yeah, and yet I know the writers also wrote Star Trek 6, but one good film against two crap ones.
Yeah, if it's that case, I don't always lay down my final judgment just yet. Some writers just have the worst of luck. Anywho, yes, they freed Edmund and laid waste to some of her forces. Translation? I'll kill you later.
Bull?
That's a Minotaur.
Oh, a Minotaur. Okay.
One of her evil minions. Basically, in the creation of Narnia, it started off with animals, but then there were other beings. Some pledged allegiance to the White Witch, others didn't.
Since I haven't read the prequel book, I assume
this-
they might
is this
explain
where-
that too.
Does Aslan tell that guy off there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
I
he does.
gotta hear this.
You won't hear it, but there is a moment coming up.
Or what little there is.
We'll just let him enjoy it.
There you go. God absolved you of all your sins.
Don't worry, Pedro. They're not going to try and do that now. I mean, yes, this film is Christian-based, but not that Christian-based. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say, even as a Christian myself, I kind of don't like when they go a bit overboard with the whole God forgiving you. I mean, yes, I
I'm
believe
guessing
in
that's
God.
probably why you hate the Matrix movies so much. Because the Matrix movies are some of the most unsubtle in terms of religious symbolisms.
Well, Jover, if that's the case, you'd probably loathe the Left Behind films.
Well, then again, aren't those movies actually, Christian propaganda films?
Well, it's like I said. I mean, just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean I'll swallow anything that's Christianity based.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that
Like
the religious overtones in the Matrix trilogy is so incredibly in your face that that's probably why you don't like those movies.
Not really. I mean, I'm not really appealed to. They don't appeal to me. That's it. It doesn't really have anything to do with the Christianity overtones, although those do show.
Since I don't watch many movies, I only have...
Well, you've now seen Ghost in the Shell, which is the Matrix done right, so you have that now.
Yay!
Well, considering I haven't seen many movies, I only have video games to compare this to. Which subtlety would you say is more unsubtle, this or Square?
Well, Square's religious symbolism tends to be a lot more obscure because they don't really go for the obvious religions. They usually tend to go for more obscure religions.
Okay.
Final Fantasy X notwithstanding. Seriously, in that game, we have to use
Welcome to Link's crossbow training.
Right. Hey, that's cheating. Use the knife.
Hold on. I just noticed. So when Pixar made Brave, they completely ripped off this scene. I mean, look at her outfit. Her outfit looks exactly like Merida from Brave. Wow, that movie is even less original that movie is even less original than I thought.
That movie is a very hilarious stereotype. Brave. It's a hilarious stereotype.
Pixar's Brave.
Okay. I haven't seen that.
Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad movie, it's competently made, it's just that it's so generic.
I was expecting, based on all the trailers and what I read beforehand, like everyone else, I was expecting something much different. I still enjoyed it for what it was, but
How was the White Witch?
Well, it was at least better than Cars 2.
How was the White Witch able to just stroll in here?
Politics.
Sort of under ceasefire and some complicated stuff. Basically, they're not quite ready for the war yet, so they don't want to attack her yet.
Aslan, for the most part, is a very offensive character as opposed to defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's bad acting.
See, even Shiro is saying it now.
Hey, I didn't say he wasn't. Well, it's like I said, as an actor, he has for the most times he's good, but yes, I will admit he does have a few of those fluctuations. Though I'm wondering if I heard a rumor that he was apparently directed to be like that, since he's a kid who later goes on to having to be army of it, so he takes it very awkwardly. And if that were the case, then I guess I could see what they're going for.
Well, at least the actress playing the White Witch is enjoying it.
Oh yes, she is.
I don't know, I kind of would have enjoyed it more if she was a little more over the top.
Oh, don't worry, Pedro. That's what the climax is for.
Oh, glorious.
And also a particular scene we're probably going to get in about 10-15 minutes.
Oh, that too.
Oh boy.
So, here's my question. Why can't the lion just fucking eat her?
Pedro, that might be a bit too savage for the good guys.
True, but it will solve all our problems, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but who's to say there won't be? Yeah, but who's to say there won't be any?
Jova, I know what you're going to say.
I mean, the witch would be all like, "I have this power, I have this," and then the line would be, "Well, I have fucking teeth."
but the witch would probably just freeze him before he'd have the chance.
Okay, Pedro.
Well, but isn't he God? He can just magically do a miracle or something.
No, he's not that much God. He actually can't just break the rules like that always. Basically, Aslan has a plan here.
Kneel, bitch.
When Liam Neeson rolls at you, you'd better run away. Short answer, Pedro. Eating her wouldn't really work for the circumstances.
We have to fulfill prophecy and shit. Then we eat her.
Not to mention the fact that eating her would not to mention the fact that at the time she has a bigger army than them. They need to think a bit more strategically.
But something is deadly wrong, as Aslan looks very despondent.
Yeah, he does. Why?
Well,
You'll see why. It sort of has to do with how he got Edmund off the hook.
On the stroke of midnight,
let me guess. He traded Edmund's place for him. Like he goes in. He's now has to become her servant or some shit like that.
Something like that. You'll see.
Not quite servant, but you're half right.
I think I can get what Pedro thinks of this film so far. A decent but kind of predictable.
Yeah, it's okay, I guess, but I've seen better.
Well, according to Chivalry, it kind of gets worse after this.
Oh, really?
Wow.
So this is the best in the series?
I found Prince Caspian quite boring, actually.
It basically the case with the Narnia films is like, well, feelings on them are really split. In fact, Narnia may be one of the most random. Well, and when I say Narnia, I'm talking about the films, of course. The books to another degree, but the books are a different case. Basically, the films have to be one of the most polarizing ones I've ever seen. It's like, well, basically, people generally agree that, yeah, the first one is the best one. And then when you get to talk about the sequels, it gets a little weird.
I'll be right back.
I haven't really seen Dawn Treader yet, but from what I hear, a lot of it tends to vary. It's like some people. It depends on what you're expecting when you get in with Prince Caspian. It's an adaptation of the book, but it's kind of done a bit weirdly, which sort of got people off guard considering as how, faithful to the book this film is, while also cutting down on stuff. It's really hard to sum it all up.
So I guess it's a case of some people like Prince Caspian more, others like Voyage of the Dawn Treader more.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that, those are changing studios, and well, when you go down from Disney, that doesn't always help.
Doesn't Fox also have Percy Jackson?
I don't remember, but anywho, back to this.
What are you going to say, Pedro?
Go ahead, Joe.
But yeah, basically, Aslan is going off, and Lucy and Susan wish to follow.
All right.
Okay, so what are you going to say, Pedro?
I guess my main problem with this movie is just I think we don't really take all that much time to get to know the characters. I mean, we have a basic sense of Like we know their roles and stuff, but I think the kids are not all that well developed. They're not very interesting, honestly. I mean, like the Susan, for example. What did she do? I mean, so far that makes her stand out from the others.
Yeah, she actually was like that in the book as well. Basically, she receives the horn and whatnot. Susan gets to do a bit more later. However, I guess it also sort of does depend on the sequels to it as well.
Okay.
I get the feeling this is one of those series where, in order to completely appreciate everything, you have to basically see, or in this case, read everything.
I agree. That's probably
not
the
really big
difference.
on that. Not really big on that structure. That kind of structure, honestly. I would like. I usually like each chapter to at least have something going for it, without me having to read all the others first.
Well,
Like Harry Potter?
No.
Yeah, Harry Potter. Like for example, I can for example, Harry Potter. I can jump into say Prisoner of Azkaban without seeing the first two and still get something out of that.
Oh, that's what you meant. That's what you meant. Well, in that case, let me reiterate. You can technically get the character stuff in say each book itself. In the one based off of this, I'd say that the characters are fleshed out enough, even Susan eventually, but she does more during the later half. I think in the book she got a bit more expansion, but it's like, well, basically, I think C.S. Lewis was running with the extent that he knew there was going to be a sequel. That said, I don't. The focus isn't really so much on the characters individually, so much as it is on them as a whole. That's sort of why we don't focus on them each individually. And to be fair, Lucy, Edmund, and Peter all get bigger roles, while Susan's sort of stuck as the pacifist with the bow and arrow. Go figure.
I guess my problem is that it's just that it's not even just them. Like I don't find the witch interesting. I don't find anyone interesting on it. Quite honestly,
Hello.
I mean, yeah. So far, I actually kind. I mean, Mr.
Oh,
Tom.
wait, that's right. Tied and bound to a stone table.
Can you see where we're going with this?
Joy.
50 Shades of the Witch.
No.
Ew. No, Dwebs, no.
50 Shades of White.
Trust me. Trust me. I kind of wish they went full. They went. All the way with that shit, because that movie is such a huge cop out.
Well, there's an extended, more hardcore edition of the film out now, apparently.
So, yeah, she lied, basically.
I lied.
So much
Cut
for
it.
love. Okay, in that case, we need the 4 kids to give us their power of love and something.
So, yeah, she's disgraced him, cut his mane and everything.
No, you can't kill off Liam Neeson.
Yeah, but like I was saying, I guess my main problem with this movie is that I just don't find any of the characters interesting. I mean, they're not bad characters. It's just that they're not particularly great ones either.
I suppose I can agree with that, especially with this being a product of the 1940s. Yeah, I do have to admit, a lot of the character development is spread over the books.
I'll just quote Doug's review of Bridge to Terabithia. True, it was a product of its time, but then again, this is an adaptation. You could update it. Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Basically,
very
also,
true.
yeah. Also, part of the problem is like they're cutting down for time, which is an issue. I will agree it doesn't excuse lack of character, but yeah, part of the reason is because they cut down for time and they tried to be a really faithful adaptation. And yeah, I will admit, a lot of the character development is sort of built over multiple books, especially with Susan's. Susan's is more built in the...
Let me guess. Wait. Let me guess. He revives 3 days later.
You're close.
But he does revive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, because I'm Jesus.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
don't expect a character voiced by Liam Neeson to be really that dead for long unless he's Qui-Gon Jinn.
To be fair, though, they actually do give another reason, believe it or not, for why he comes back. That's the thing about this story. It's like, well, yes, I mean, yes, it's obviously in relation to Christian, but they actually give in-story reasons for it to happen, as opposed to, he's just that powerful. So,
Pedro.
kudos.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Pedro,
go on.
to be accurate about this, it's not 3 days, it's more like 3 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we have to cut for time since this is a movie, not a book.
And not quite 3 minutes. Oh, wait. Are you talking about story-wise, Shuri? Because,
No,
story-wise...
right now, they're literally he's literally about to come back.
Really? I thought he doesn't come back for at least a few more.
She's going to use the magical potion that not Santa Claus gave her.
Unfortunately, that can heal any wound, but not a fatal one that's already killed someone.
That reminds me, Dwebs. Have I ever shown you Terminator 3, the greatest action story ever told?
No.
Then I have to show you that after we're done with this, because trust me, that's hilarious.
No, Liam Neeson, why? What else was he doing around 2005?
I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't think... And I'm not really feeling anything, sorry.
I can understand where you're coming from. I mean, and to be fair, Chronicles of Narnia is a bit of an acquired taste.
No, it's not. I like fantasy movies. It's not that. It's not that. I just don't find this to be a particularly great one.
I'm not talking about the genre. I'm talking about the Chronicles of Narnia. The series itself can be a bit of an acquired taste, and I'll be quite honest. I mean, when I first saw this film, I had read the books in chronological order because my mom or dad got me one of the box sets. The one that gives it in chronological as opposed to production value order. So I guess to be fair, I'd actually read the first few books before I got to actually seeing the movie.
So basically, people who read all the books will get much more out of this film. That's not how you do good adaptation at all. Sorry.
No. I wouldn't say that's guaranteed. Well, I wouldn't say it's absolute guaranteed because, to be fair, technically, this is based off of the first book that was ever made. So people know where they're coming from. It's like, well, you don't have to read the books to get the stuff out of this. But I will say, if you're a guy who likes to get, high and in-depth stuff about the characters, you may be a bit out of luck, considering
I'm okay with a more story-driven movie than a character-driven movie. That's not the problem. My problem is that the story itself is not all that interesting either. There's the villain here. Go defeat her somehow.
Well, this comes down to personal preference more, because for a lot of people, this actually did fit the bill, and I actually like this story.
I like this as a child, too.
Yeah, basically, I'll put it like this. It's like, well, this is technically a well-done story, but if you're not into, the kind of stories that, will focus on 3 of the 4 main characters, but not so much on the 4th one, even for story reasons, it all comes down to personal preference, I guess, at this point, because honestly, I feel the character interactions are done well enough. Even without reading the books, you get the gist of it. You get that there are 4 kids who went away because of the war, and they're the chosen ones, but they may not be sure about being the chosen ones. And Aslan is basically the big leader or whatnot. So yeah, I'd say it comes down to personal preference at this rate. I mean, yeah. I mean, what is it about the characters you don't feel is that fleshed out, or is it mainly just Susan?
I just don't really care about them because, quite honestly, I haven't really got to know them. Peter.
I see where he's coming from.
Like Peter, what kind of person is Peter? Is he boring? Is he adventurous? Is he they're all so...
I'd argue that we do know much about Peter. The thing is, you start off mainly focusing on Lucy, and then by, say, a later fraction of the film, then you start focusing on the other siblings. I'm guessing that's what comes from, because with Peter, you get that he's the awkward type who would never think himself to be a leader of sorts. He's basically the old Papa Bear, the oldest sibling, so the one who looks out for his family and stuff, but the one who wants to do right. Granted,
My problem is that doesn't really get explored in the story at all. At least not that I've noticed.
Hey, it's the magical white horse from Lone Ranger.
think I could see where you're coming from. It's like, well, yeah, they don't always focus so much on them individually because a lot of the story is focused on the journey to Aslan's camp, and yeah, I will admit,
Like, see, for example, we're about to see a big battle. Like, in order for me to be invested, I have to, care about the characters, and I don't. So this is kind of an emotional dud for me.
oh yeah. That's sort of that personal preference sort of thing. I guess it's like, well, I guess it's either hit or miss. I mean, you end up caring about the characters or not. I do care about the characters, so yeah, but yeah,
I
okay.
see where he's coming from.
Yeah, me too. I will admit that even as a film that, technically does technically does work as a standalone film, it does help to have it in chronological order. I mean, heck, even C.S. Lewis himself understood that. That's why he eventually made the prequel, which actually expands on the universe. Granted, it doesn't have the kids, but it does give more to the lore of the universe and actually explains how Narnia came to be. So, yeah.
Wait. What the hell is she wearing?
She's wearing Aslan's mane as a trophy. You remember, Pedro, we're now at the climax. You know how you kind of wanted a bit of overtopness from her?
Alright. What you got?
You'll see.
I also don't really find this believable. The fact that the kid now suddenly is capable of going into this kind of war and just...
Okay, what time are you guys at?
We are at 109, 36, 37, 38.
Okay, lady, you are aware if a strong gust of wind shows up, you'll get your boobs exposed, right? That's not really...
I guess she just doesn't care.
Okay, it wasn't 3 minutes, it was more like 10 minutes.
So let's see, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. You know, Pedro, it's funny you mentioned about how it doesn't feel that believable that the kid could actually be a warrior and leader of that. Well, believe it or not, okay, you know how a lot of this stuff does seem unbelievable that kids could do this? Well, believe it or not, that's actually explained in The Last Battle, the seventh book, the finale of the series.
But who's to say the film series will even get that far?
I know. That's why I'm sort of a bit frustrated. But yeah, that book, which is technically in canon with this because, well, it's part of the same universe, does actually explain all the plot holes, believe it or not.
No, there are no plot holes in this movie. Not that I could notice. It's just
okay. Fair enough. Maybe I shouldn't call them plot holes.
It lacks emotional and narrative depth. That's my problem.
They try to give it some. Give them credit for that.
They do try, but I think they should have tried harder.
I think Pedro's right in saying that they should have updated it.
I agree. I mean, well, yeah.
Then again, what do you mean by update? Do you honestly mean like,
No, as in like this being a product of its time.
Like to give you an idea,
you don't mean like modernize the story and give the kids
the thing is like
stuff like that, do you?
Like to give you an idea, Dwebs, like the first Scarface movie, while a good movie for its time, like whereas does have its aging problems, whereas the newer remake with Al Pacino, that one is much better because not only because it's longer, but because it takes advantage of the fact that it's longer to we actually get to know more about the characters and stuff, and it's a much more overall cohesive story. It's just updating and shit. But I think this movie stayed. If the book was really like this too, I think they should have tried to update it for modern standards. I don't know, because storytelling has evolved a lot since the 1940s, and I don't know. This kind of feels a little too shallow.
Either that, or what they should have done was like start with what's chronologically the first book, the Magician's Nephew, which is the story that comes before this story and actually expands more on the world of Narnia and gives you more of a reason to care about these characters. I'm not saying that you necessarily need to read that to care, but having that first story does help a lot. I mean, heck,
that's also another problem. To me, that's just not how you do a good adaptation at all. I mean, this should be a movie first and a part of a book series second.
I'm actually surprised that they didn't do the adaptation off of The Magician's Nephew first, since, officially that's listed as the first book in the series.
They should have gone for whatever the first movie happens that establishes everything.
They should have written it in order.
Well, they technically are doing it in order, sure. Production value order.
It's kind of like the early James Bond movies and the issue they had, because those were based off books, but they were filmed out of order. But then again, most of the films weren't only really had like by being based on the book.
Aside from Skyfall and GoldenEye, those movies don't even try to be, they're more like they're kind of more like simple superhero movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess when they say it's based on the book, they mean like they took the name, some of the characters, and that's it.
Oh, goody. The stone table is now cracked and Aslan is nowhere to be seen.
Which means he's alive again.
Yeah.
By the power of magic. Because it's Disney.
No,
Actually,
it's because there he is. But how? Because I'm Jesus.
I'm voiced by because I'm voiced by Liam Neeson.
Goody two shoes.
So yeah, basically because Aslan has never been treacherous, and because he took Edward instead, and also the fact that the witch sort of backed out on the deal, thus making it illegit, allowed the stone table to crack, and thus for his death to be undone.
And besides, if we cast Liam Neeson, we're damn well going to use him.
Now,
the battle's still going.
I'll give the story credit. That was actually kind of clever. See, Aslan must have expected that would happen, and the witch would backstab him. So
okay, I'm sorry. I can't take her seriously. That outfit looks so freaking silly.
But Pedro, isn't that what you wanted, for her to be more?
No. I mean, in terms of behavior, not so much in terms of appearance.
Oh, trust me, she'll do that in both. But yeah,
It's nearly. I can't remember her ever doing that though. At this point,
Was she like that in Prince? Was she in Prince Caspian?
No.
Beaver, are you gonna actually do something?
I don't think so. I can't. I don't think so.
Really? So the beavers are just kind of there.
well, the beavers aren't really that combatant.
True.
I mean, they're beavers.
You're right, Joey. My beaver was on full display. Next time I'll take better care of my beaver.
We're going to battle. You can use your bow and arrow skills and put them to good use. You will give Legolas a run for his money.
A movie we really need to check out is Neverending Story, because that was the fantasy movie of my childhood.
What about Neverending Story 2 and 3?
Those movies
We're
don't
gonna have
exist.
to look at those twibs, but
Well, it's called Neverending Story. I'm surprised we haven't got Neverending Story 86 at this rate.
Dwibs, Neverending Story 3 is the reason.
Ah. Oh. Okay. Peter got off his high horse.
Tish.
Shouldn't we kill the guy while he hasn't got his helmet on?
They're not that close yet.
I should think the witch would have good archers at her disposal. I mean, they got a giant rhinoceros that doesn't look all that good. Well,
I also think the pacing is not the best, because this movie really need to be 2 hours and a half.
well,
I guess
agree with the second half rather than the
I mean,
first half.
then again,
Really
you
didn't get-
told me that they're still leaving quite. They had to cut some stuff on the book in order to. It makes me wonder. Just how much was cut from the book, because this, I mean, again, I haven't read the book, so I can speak for it. But judging just the movie on its own, it seems like this story is the complexity of this story doesn't really justify a 2.5 hour runtime.
Okay. Basically, what gets cut off is, I believe, a lot of side stuff. Basically, C.S. Lewis had a tendency to include a lot of side stuff and go off on different tangents in his stories. That's, from what I can recall, that's mainly the bulk of what's cut off. Otherwise, everything important pretty much is left in this film.
I feel like we should have used more scenes of them building up the army and such, because we haven't really got a lot of that. Yeah, what were you saying?
The army kind of comes out of nowhere when you think about it.
Yeah, although, to be fair, the army did come out of came out of nowhere.
No,
to be fair, the army paraded onto the scene in the book.
Don't worry, magical god Liam Neeson will blow on him.
Just give it that potion that Santa gave you.
No need.
Oh. No. That's for fatal wounding. This, unfortunately, doesn't count as fatal wounding. Well, I mean, not fatal wounding, but serious.
Hey, James, you're back in the movie.
Yep.
It's a shame he couldn't have a bigger role, because I actually liked him when he was introduced. It's a shame they kind of got frozen.
From what I can remember, the thing people like most about this film is the interaction between James McAvoy's character and Lucy.
And that was only like, what, 10 minutes?
Meanwhile, the battle isn't going well for our heroes.
So when is she gonna start acting over the top?
Soon, right about now.
Awesome.
Believe it or not, she managed to just act over the top without even yelling or anything.
Get out of here!
I'm acting!
Okay, you know what? Let that kid... Okay, not Peter, the other one. What's the name of the other one?
Edmund.
Let Edmund die. He's a fucking dipshit. Do something, you moron!
He actually is going to do something.
Wow, okay. Remember what I said earlier about
Hold on. He's going to do something.
Yeah, but again, Jovis, it's 2 hours into the film. What's he done that's remotely noble?
He doesn't have to do something noble to all Dwibs. You can't expect everything to come back quickly. Also, he's about to do something.
So he's the one who's gonna kill her?
No. He's the one who breaks her wand that freezes people.
Okay.
And then he gets wounded for it.
And he's dead.
And
I care so much.
it's not even. I mean, even taking aside from the fact that these characters are not really all that interesting. He's kind of a dick anyway. So.
Yeah. So I don't give a shit.
Yeah, and it's kind of a problem when there's supposed to be a big dramatic death, and I don't care.
He's not supposed to die. It's not supposed to be a dramatic death.
I know. Oh, come on, Joe. But the music swelling, his scream. Come on, you can tell I'm supposed to be.
Joe, but the guy's been a dick for 2 hours.
Twitch, he actually
expect me to.
He's been a dick for about an hour and a quarter.
Do you honestly expect me to feel sorry for him?
That looked like that thing that Anakin did to Christopher Lee in Revenge of the Sith before cutting his head off.
Anywho, Dwibs, he hasn't been a dick ever since his comeuppance, actually, which actually came halfway through the film.
Come on, Liam, help him out. Reclaim your fur.
Actually, he grew his original back, but yeah.
Okay, fine. Just take it back anyway, because
Oh, he's going to.
Pedro, I think at the end you actually do get what you wanted.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Which performance?
You'll see. I think anyway. I can't quite remember, but I think
Basically, Dwibs, the case with Edmund is that he got his comeuppance. He doesn't necessarily do all the noble stuff until later point.
There's like 20 minutes left. So it's 20 more minutes of fighting?
You'll see.
Not quite. About 10 of it, I think, is fighting. I'm not, maybe less than that. We have credits too, and there's a scene after the fight.
This would be a lot better if you had done this in the first place. Just saying.
Actually, Pedro, if he had done that in the first place,
So he does eat her.
Something bad would have happened. But yeah, he does eat her in the end.
Wait a minute. Okay, I must have missed something. Why couldn't he just eat her from the previously?
Because prophecy and shit.
And also,
fuck the prophecy. The villain's right there. Fucking kill her.
And there's also the case about how killing her would somehow doom Edmund as well.
Well, that and she was surrounded by her guards.
That too.
He's dead. Sorry.
Good.
No, he's not dead yet.
He's having...
Edmund acted like a dick for 2 hours of the film.
No. Objection, Dwibs.
I haven't finished yet.
No, objection. But
let Dwibs finish, Jova. Go ahead, Dwibs.
Object later, you fucking annoying lawyer. Anyway, he acted like a dick for 2 hours of the film. Do you honestly expect me to forgive him after one good thing he did?
Objection. That'd be like
if Mark Zuckerberg all of a sudden in social network all of a sudden decide to give to charity. That doesn't automatically erase any stupid dipshit bastard things he did earlier on in the film.
Dwibs, you're forgetting though. He didn't act like a dick for 2 hours. He acted like a dick for less than half of the movie, actually. Then he got his comeuppance for a good portion of the film. It's not like the film expected you to outright forgive him anyway.
But after that, he was running off like a coward.
Running off like a coward? No, he was doing what Peter told him at first, but then he realized that the witch... Wait, hold on. Which part are you talking about?
Earlier, right before...
Oh, well, that was because Peter told him initially to go get the girls and leave.
It's interesting. I was under the impression that I was probably the one who was least liking of this movie, but Dwibs is complaining a lot more than I am.
Well, I think it's the character he's complaining about the most.
Yeah, I don't like Edmund.
Oh, well, yeah, I kind of agree with you there.
I don't like Edmund either, but then again, I'm much more tolerant to this kind of stuff. David Fincher is the main guy who really manages to piss me off with that kind of stuff.
Lucy's probably the best of the bunch.
She's also the best actress in the movie, if you ask me.
Yeah, the 6-year-old I think she was 6 years old.
Yeah,
she's a better actress.
Yeah, for a 6-year-old, she acts pretty damn well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
basically,
at least when she cried, I could buy that she's upset.
Basically, Dibs with Edmund. Basically,
Harry Gregson Williams.
Basically, Dibs, Edmund actually had a process. He was a dick for less than half of the film. Then eventually he started to learn that the witch was, evil. Then he got his comeuppance, had a lot of suffering through it. And then, after a long length of the duration and development, he finally actually starts to act ballsy and actually takes out the witch's wand.
Edmund, for breaking a stick, I'll give you the throne.
That stick was the thing that was turning everyone to ice, so yeah. It's like, I'll say this. I'm okay if you hate Edmund. Heck, I kind of hated him myself. But I think it's a bit too far to be saying that he's a dick for 2 hours of the film, not to mention the fact that, he doesn't at least eventually get the legit heel face turn. I mean, to be fair, they at least built up him, learning his lesson and actually finally doing something.
Here's your crown for being
the best. So now she becomes the queen from Neverending Story?
Here's your crown.
Yeah, actually, they are going to be.
I've got a headcanon. Here's your crown for being the best child actor in the film. So here is your crown for breaking a stick.
So basically, they are now.
Here's your crown for being there.
Yes. And here is your crown for managing to hold on to your dignity while wearing that outfit.
I get the feeling that this film is one that's good to make fun of and can still be good, but yeah, this is one of those films that probably does not work too well from being that faithful to the book. Well,
being faithful to the book is fine, but you have to know when not to be.
but wouldn't that piss off people?
No, again, you don't have to either go all faithful or not faithful at all. You can try to get a balance.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aslan is walking along the Sea of Dover.
Wait, how did he get there? Oh, wait, he's Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
No. It's actually been hours since the announcement. The party's been going on. Duration of time.
Yeah.
Wait,
hang on. I think.
Wait. She has a prettier dress now. Like, where did that dress come from?
Duration of time, Pedro.
Wait, so they stay here for days?
They're actually going to stay here for years as the kings and queens of Narnia.
Wait. So you're telling me that they're going to abandon the real world and whoever they left there?
No, they don't.
Oh.
You'll see. Let's just let Pedro see what happens.
Okay, here we go. I swear,
What?
hang on, let me check. Was it Lucy?
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on. She's done. Hang on, let me check.
Did she manage to get a career after this?
I don't know.
She's been in stuff that I haven't seen,
And so years later, they
me
grew
check.
up to be adults as they ruled over the land of Narnia.
So they still live in the real world, but sometimes they come to Narnia to check on things and shit?
Nope. They've actually been in Narnia for years now.
So, okay, remind me again. Do they have parents or grandparents back in the real world?
Yeah,
They
they
have a mother.
do.
So they're abandoning them for years without telling...
Actually, no, Pedro, where'd you guess where they're going with this?
Oh, let me guess. A year in this place is like 5 minutes in the real world.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
Even less than
okay.
that, actually.
Not even, well, yeah, about 5 minutes.
Georgie Henley.
The old lamppost.
Oh, she was in the other Narnia movies. Yeah, she doesn't have that many work. She hasn't had that many work.
and apparently she was in this film called The Sisterhood of Night, which I've heard was good. When people said that Georgie Henley was the best thing about it. Well, then again, she was older and I guess more experienced.
Well, it's freaking convenient, that time difference shit, I guess.
Oh, you think that's it? Watch what happens when they come out of the wardrobe.
Wait. Doesn't that mean they're now gonna be... Wait, what?
And they're kids again!
How does that work?
I don't know.
Narnia!
It's like in Sonic X where Chris all of a sudden became 10 again. When he landed on Sonic's planet.
Couldn't he just have not made it there? Could he?
Let me guess.
Yeah.
The whole thing was a fever dream by all four or something.
No. It actually happened.
Pedro, if they did that excuse, I'm pretty sure there would have been an outcry of like, oh my god, what a shitty ending. So that was the Chronicles of Narnia.
Hold on. Still an after credits scene.
Oh.
I mean, before we do the after credits scene, let's do our final thoughts now. Pedro.
Me?
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's not. There's nothing particularly bad about it. It's just that there's nothing particularly interesting about it. It's just, it's a run-of-the-mill fantasy film. Basically, these kids come into the fantasy land and there's some kind of evil and we have to stop it, and that's all there is. And that's all there is to it. I mean, there's no...
Hold on.
There's no real themes. Oh, okay.
Wow, it must feel weird for Lucy to be a girl. This means she'll have to do puberty twice.
I haven't seen this after credit scene, actually.
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty good point that you're bringing up, Jova. Like, how old was she before they came back?
At least 18 by the looks of it.
So she went through full puberty, and now she's going through it again. That's
Yeah.
kind of messed up when you think about it.
Well, they all are. Well, except Peter. I'm guessing he's
So
all-
basically, the professor said, "Don't worry, it'll open up, but then the time comes." And
Yeah,
speaking of
in
which,
3 years.
hold on.
Oh,
Wait, there's a light. I want to go back, please. Nope, you gotta wait till Prince Caspian.
Okay, so
Hey, Joe,
you want to
do
get
you
the
wanna
rest
finish?
of your thoughts?
yeah. Like, I guess the story doesn't even have any thematic elements to it. It's just, these kids.
Christianity.
Well, okay, fine, except for the Christian metaphors. But the point is, I mean, I think this story would have been a lot more interesting if they spent a little more time in the real world establishing some kind of background for these kids before they go into the Fantasyland. Like, have them have some kind of issue, and then it is through their journey in the magical world that they eventually learn and become a better person, and then they learn how to face their problems in the real world, something like that. But as it is, it's just, I mean, it's just a run-of-the-mill fantasy film, and it doesn't really do anything all that interesting. The characters are bland. The story is, again, run-of-the-mill. The effects are pretty good, especially for the time.
Except
The music is great, but I don't know. It's just, it's a thing, I guess.
Yeah, never mind. I'll wait till you finish your thoughts.
No, I'm pretty much done. It's okay-ish, I guess.
Yeah, it's like I say, in some cases, Chronicles of Narnia can be a taste that you develop, like by rereading or rewatching, or sometimes watching the whole series. Yeah, I'll give my thoughts on this. Speaking as someone who I hadn't exactly read the second book at the time, go figure. I'd read portions of it. Basically, I really liked this growing up as a kid, and nowadays, I like it still, but I will admit, it doesn't feel quite as exciting as the first time I watched it. Maybe it's because I know what's going to happen, but yeah, I get the
I have a
feeling
theory for that. Okay, go ahead.
I get the feeling that Disney was like, okay, to honor C.S. Lewis, we're going to make the movies in the order that he made the books. So yeah, my fear is like they had that in mind, that they were absolutely certain that they were going to get to the entire series. So eventually, all would become clear, as it had to for the people back in the day. That could work, maybe, although the problem is how spread out the sequels are. But even still, though, it's kind of polarizing. It's like most people like this film, but even us who like it, I do admit that, you know enough about the characters, but if you're like someone who's really into lore and whatnot, you're probably going to be disappointed just looking at this film, because Chronicles of Narnia on its own, yes, there's Narnia, but I have to agree with Pedro, there's not as much world building here as there are in other books. It's like, well, you get the feeling that Chronicles of Narnia as a book series was one that definitely functioned the best as the 7-book series, and I get that that's what they were expecting to do. However,
what you're telling me is that the whole is much better than the individual pieces.
Yeah. It's basically It's like imagine a cake recipe. No, that's a bad analogy. It's like imagine a cake. One slice is great, but the whole cake is the real fun. It's like, well, each story on its own is fun, but you definitely feel that they come together. And, well, it'll depend on whether or not they get around to making all those movies. But as of now, it's possible to get into this. The action's pretty good. The actors, for the most part, do their jobs well. Music is outstanding. I like the battles, but I will admit some of them do feel a bit run-of-the-mill. I do like how the story goes to deconstruct the whole prophecy thing by having them actually self-doubt and have it be that, hey, it could have been any 4 kids, but you just happen to be the one. What you gonna do about it? Edmund does come off as kind of unlikable, but I do feel that they pull off his redemption legit overall. What else? Yeah, I mean, I like this film, but I will admit I feel that this film could use a remake. So yeah, good film, but it hasn't quite aged all that well.
Well, hey Pedro.
Sure. Oh,
Okay, you didn't like the actor who played Peter, right?
Not really, no.
Well, if there's any consolation in Voyage of the Dawn Treader, he only gets a cameo.
No, I mean, I didn't like him, but I didn't hate him.
Yeah, no, he's only got a cameo in Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
Sure.
Bibbs, do you have your mic plugged in? You sound.
Oh, sorry, I put it up.
Dwebs,
Okay,
final
sure,
thoughts.
you can.
Or sure.
Siri first.
Okay, I can see where Pedro's coming from. I mean, I really enjoyed this and the book as a child, but looking at this movie, yes, it's painful. No, painful. Faithful. This is painful to sit through. No, it's not quite that.
No,
it is a little boring to sit through. It's nice. It does its job. It's faithful. But yeah, like what I said with The Little Mermaid, it's one of those films that, you know, if it's on, I won't avoid it, but I wouldn't actually go out of my way to watch this.
Like I said before, I just don't think this has enough story to justify a 2.5
Oh, guys.
runtime.
Oh, yeah, guys.
Yes.
Before I give my final thoughts, another fun fact.
Well,
The director of this film, Andrew Adamson, he's a co-director on the first 2 Shrek films.
Neat. Well, that would certainly explain it for Shrek 1, since I found that film boring, but I love Shrek 2.
well, I think the confusion probably won't help. Isn't helped by the fact that the films are like they're very apart from each other. It's not like the Harry Potter or Twilight films where they came out within a year or 2 of each other.
It's been 5 years now since Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
And it
And
probably...
we're about to get another film. That's
we've just this year, less than a
couple of weeks ago.
How about that?
It came out a couple of weeks ago.
A few weeks ago, the writer said he's completed the script.
Oh, he's completed the script. Okay.
You know, honestly, I honestly feel like if Disney was, doing these adaptations in the chronological order, this film could come off a lot better. But they're doing it in the production value order, apparently. Unless they're going to
it's not Disney anymore. It's been Fox since the 3rd film.
Okay. But basically what I'm saying is Disney started off a trend and Fox seems to be continuing it, since the next film they're doing is The Silver Chair, which is chronologically the 6th and second to last book.
I am confused already.
I think that it's like the best since you guys tend to compare this a lot to Harry Potter. The reason it was incredibly easy for me to get invested into Harry Potter right from the very first film when it first came out was because we get to know the characters, we get to see exactly how the world is, we get to meet every character one by one and stuff. It's a much more overall, and it's so much more interesting as a result of that. Whereas in here we just kind of go through the motions.
I think I see what the problem is here. It's like it's 1940s writing being literally transcripted onto the silver screen in the 2000s. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. C.S. Lewis is a brilliant writer, but you have to admit, even he himself realized, maybe I should build more on this world. Heck, that's why he made an interquel and a prequel before making the final book chronologically.
All right, Dubs.
The film is okay. The film's all right. I mean, there's some decent moments, but Edmund can go die in a fire.
Even after he redeems himself, Dwib still hates him. That said, I can't blame you. Edmund, even back then, left a lot of burning impressions.
What else? Some of the visuals haven't aged well, particularly the animals, except Aslan. The final battle didn't really feel all that climactic.
I'd say that it's a mixture of climatic, but not climatic as well. It's like some parts of it feel meh, yet other parts feel awesome, like Aslan eating the witch. Oh yeah, fun fact, they don't exactly title how he kills her in the book, I think. So yeah, that was an add-on. That's right, in a Disney film, we get a lion eating a witch alive.
In a Disney film.
A 2005 Disney film for that, and it's only rated PG.
So, yeah, that was... is everyone done?
Yep.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. We shall see you for Prince Caspian.
Yeah.
Yep.
A film Shiro is very much looking forward to.
Yay!
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Maybe that one has gotten better with time. Who knows?
See ya.
See it.